again with Hannah Isted, my business buddy. We're doing a series of 4 episodes, and last week we talked about our goals for 2024, and this week we're chatting about what I think is going to be a really fun topic, because this is something that we both share and have in common, and we're talking about why we love challenges. So hi Hannah, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Okay, what would you sort of say a challenge is? How would you define it?
I think a challenge in terms of like marketing stuff is when you kind of give yourself some rules, or like you were saying, a container, and you decide what you're going to be doing for that period of time. So
It's like a short burst almost, isn't it? Like not necessarily something that you're going to do forever.
No, there's
It might
like an
turn into
end
that.
point
Yeah.
usually to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's like a goal to it, and it's something you want to achieve in that time. So, but there's loads of different things you could do.
Yeah,
as a
I think that you
challenge.
could be really creative with it. Maybe we should chat through, because we've done challenges separately, challenges together. Well, when I say together, usually it's one of us has come up with it and the other. Usually you've come up with a challenge and I've decided I want to do it too.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of one. So we're recording this in November. We're in the middle of one at the moment. So sadly, I'm kind of a bit annoyed that I didn't schedule this better so that we could have chatted about the results. But anyway, doesn't matter.
We're halfway through. Today is the halfway point.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay, we'll
'cause
chat.
it's the
We can chat
14th.
about that.
Okay.
Anyway, tell us maybe some of the challenges that you've done. I feel like you've done loads.
So, yeah, obviously this is the challenge we're doing at the moment, which is the Best 30 Days challenge. And me and you are doing daily reels, but a lot of people are taking part and they're doing loads of other things. So they're doing like crafting every day.
Nice.
Michelle's doing a walk every day. Like Charlotte's posting every day, but that can look different over different accounts.
Yeah.
So there were loads of different things in terms of that challenge. Then this year I've done 2 email challenges. So I did Social Media Sports Day, which was
so that was a
5-day
challenge for
email
other
challenge.
people, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like they sign up for the challenge that you've created for them.
Yeah, so they sign up, get the email challenge sent to them each day, and then they do the challenge that I've set. And then I did Back to Business Bootcamp, which I think was the same kind of format, but 3 days. I can't actually remember. That was in September. And those challenges doubled my email list this year.
That's impressive.
And I just had so much fun doing them. And
you do go all out though. I think that's what I like, is that because it's sort of like it's like a short, quick, burst. You know, like we said, it's like a short, quick burst of something.
Yeah.
I feel like you get really playful and have a lot of fun with how you promote them. Like those videos that you did for the sports day were hilarious.
They were so much fun. Like literally taking the dogs to a field with a potato sack
and your yellow sweatband.
Yeah. But I think the reason I like challenges for my business is because it gives me something to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of schedule them throughout the year in a place where either there's something coming up that I want to do a bit of a lead magnet for. So Back to Business Bootcamp is a lead magnet for that round of the Best 90 Days ever. But to be honest, Sports Day was because I was bored. And I was like, what can I talk about?
Fun.
Yeah. And so that gave me something to focus my marketing on for the 2 weeks in the lead up to that. And
that is
it was
such
really
a
fun.
good point.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely what I found with the challenges that I've done. So I would say mine are the rejection challenge, which was a big one and is like has now become an ongoing thing rather than it probably will never end. But it gave me, created so much content around that, you know, like podcast episodes, like talked about it on stories loads, did reels about it. I made like a lead magnet. I did a talk. I did a closing keynote at a conference about it. Like that turned into something huge for me. And became something that I really talked about a lot. So yeah, that's a good point. And then doing the Reels challenge, I, like you, did like a post before we did it saying, I'm going to do this Reels challenge. This is what I want to get out of it. And I can't believe how many people engaged. I mean, I know part of it was because it was part of a bigger challenge that you were running, but like so many people messaged me being like, I'm going to do this too, or I'm going to save your reels for inspiration and I'm going to do it in the new year. You know, like it doesn't have to be at the same time. And I think that is one thing that I like, is that you can just do it at any time and you can do it just yourself. You know,
Although,
like it doesn't.
I do think it's nice to do it in a group.
It is nice to do it in a group because then you've got like the moral support, definitely. But what it did make, I think doing the 30-day thing, what it made me realize was I could actually like tackle different parts of my business in 30-day chunks and like get better at things. And so actually it's really inspired me that I've thought of loads of other challenges that I'd love to do.
Go on.
Well, just, I mean, most of it's around content and like social media. So we've done the 30 days of reels, but then I was like, maybe I do 30 days of posting on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And like LinkedIn has not been one of my core sort of platforms, but I am interested to just see like what happens. I think it really fits in well to like my curiosity aspect of running a business. So I like the idea of like, I'm going to try this for 30 days. If it doesn't work for me, I don't have to do it anymore. Yeah. Or maybe something amazing happens and I'm like, oh my goodness, LinkedIn was the place I was meant to be. And then I sort of rethink my strategy. But it feels like a manageable amount. It's not like I'm saying, right, this is it. I'm a LinkedIn person now and I'm going to go for it. It's like me saying, I'm just going to give this a go and like see what happens.
And it's also enough time to see if you could get results as well. Because I do think often people, you know, they might do like 5 reels and nothing happens and they're like, I'm never doing a reel again. Whereas actually, even over these 2 weeks, we've been having conversations of, okay, that reel has flopped. That's interesting. Why? Well, this reel has done well. That's interesting. Why has that done well? So we can like already analyze what is happening and what you can do better
and improve our content off the back of it.
But that did just remind me actually of I don't know if this was kind of like a January thing, but I remember seeing on TikTok a lot of people were doing like a themed month, and they tended to be around like self-care or a routine or a habit that they wanted to like implement into their life. So it would be like,
so more personal than business.
Yeah, it wasn't business related, but obviously everything, I'm just thinking, how can I link that to marketing? But yeah, so they'd be like, okay, in March, I'm going to focus on introducing the habit of getting my daily steps in. Okay. So they only do that during March, but they see if they can then kind of embed that habit into their routine.
I think there's science into that, because I'm sure he talks about that. I think it might be longer than 30 days, but I think in Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about how you need to do it for a certain amount of time for it to sink in, but also this idea of, and this is where I become really unstuck, okay? Because I am a very all or nothing person. So I'm the sort of person who wakes up on January the 1st and is like, I'm going to attempt to be a completely different person. Here's all the ways I'm going to change my life. And my husband is always like, you're not going to do that. Like, you can't change who you are overnight and just suddenly do all these different habits. And so I think taking one thing and just focusing on that thing, because what it is that you do it to the point that then you don't have to think about it anymore, because it's just natural. It's just like what you do. You know, like it doesn't take, obviously I have to do work to create content for Instagram, but creating content for Instagram feels a lot easier for me than all the others, because I do it all the time. Yeah. Whereas if I spent loads of time posting on a different platform, whether that was like X or LinkedIn, then that would become easier, because I would like know the platform better. I'd know how to do it. And I think there's something scientific, isn't there, in that? Like, just take one thing, tackle it for 30 days, and then see what happens.
Yeah. And I think he talks in that book, I can't remember what he calls it, but it's where you like
habit stacking.
Yeah, where you add it on. And I think a lot of people don't have the initial habit. So
to stack on, they need to have it to stack it onto.
So we're relating to marketing. You know, if you think about things like you've set up a video here, I automatically came in and took a photo. That is just something that we automatically do because we know we can use it for content later. Yes. And I think that is a habit that
is what I'm still working on, though. But that's what the real challenge has really helped me, right? Because I was not in the habit of just regularly collecting content unless I had a specific use for it. But you've really helped me. I mean, mainly because we've been like talking about this together because we're both doing it. But you've really helped me just with getting clips that I don't necessarily... It's almost like the B-roll thing, isn't it? It's like collecting B-roll that I don't necessarily know how I'm going to use it. No. But then I've definitely noticed that I'll find an audio and actually it just needs a bunch of clips of me like working or something. And then I can... like, I've got a whole load on my phone I've recorded. And that's it, isn't it? It's like the habit It always makes me think of that audio that went round a while ago where it was like, everything is content. Everything is content.
Exactly.
That's a very bad impression of it. But it was like, there was an audio that was basically making fun of the fact that everything we do is content.
Yeah.
But I think there is something in that. It's like, I mean, I'm still quite bad at it.
If you see everything as content is so much easier.
Yeah, true, because you've just got this bank.
Yeah,
but
you're
also,
not scrabbling around.
you do have to have boundaries with it, right? Because, like, you have to just live your life sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
you don't have to film everything that you're doing.
And I just think if you take a quick snippet, then you can put your phone down and it's done then. You don't need to be filming. You know, we're not like, me and you are not lifestyle vloggers. So we don't need to be like filming every single moment of our lives. But if you take a quick video while you're out on a run, or if someone films you while you're doing a talk, or you know, grabbing a coffee or something like that, then you can use that, and it just makes the rest of your content so much easier. But like that could be a challenge in itself. Like you could set a challenge to record a daily video.
Yeah.
And
or
just make that easier.
Or set a challenge to record 3 little clips of B-roll every day. Can you imagine? By the end of it, you'd have like, oh, my math's bad, 90 clips of B-roll by the end of a month.
3 times
like if you
3.
did 3. That's right, isn't
it?
Yeah. Okay. That's like,
oh my God.
Make my down my very poor maths. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's working out something that you would like to do that maybe you haven't been able to do. And I just think it's mentally so much easier if you know that it's just for like a short period of time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do this forever.
No. And also if you see it as a bit of fun and like you can stop doing it if you want. So at the start of the year, I set myself the challenge of doing 500 TikToks.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious, that challenge.
And do you know what though? I think I could have done it.
You could have done it.
TikTok was going to be a goal of mine, but as I was getting through, so it was probably the end of February.
Like a week. Oh, okay, 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months, I reckon. I wasn't on track to
but
do 500.
If you were going to do 500, you needed to be posting at least 2 a day most days.
Exactly. And I didn't want to post about marketing.
So that was the undoing of it. Yeah.
And I kind of thought, well, why am I doing this then?
Yeah.
Because
it's not going to benefit your business at all.
No. And like, you know, like we were talking about in the last episode about our goals, like if that's a sub goal, is that helping me towards one of my main goals?
And you realised it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. But what it did do for those 2 months was help me get better at videos, because I was just putting out anything really. On TikTok, I didn't really care because it wasn't related to marketing either. And
why didn't you want to post out marketing?
I just wanted a space where I didn't have to talk about marketing.
Okay.
You know
it was more like a fun thing rather than it was almost like your personal account.
Yeah.
Like life account.
It was about like charity shopping.
Yeah, your charity shopping one went viral, didn't it?
Well, yeah, and that was featured in The Sun.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, and got paid for that. There was 2 of them that went viral. So yeah, in that way it was good and like led to some other things, and I got better at video that I could then use that skill on my Instagram with my reels,
which are about marketing.
Yeah. But I don't enjoy watching TikToks about marketing, and I just thought I'm never gonna make this a habit because I don't enjoy doing them on TikTok.
Do you ever post any of the reels that you've done on Instagram onto your TikTok?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you should try it. Just see what happens.
But that muddies the water then, because what is my TikTok? I don't want my TikTok to be about marketing. I don't want to start.
But your TikTok's not about anything right now, is it? Are you? Well, no.
Well, I'm not.
Maybe you might be posting about it by the time this goes.
Well, I have actually done I did do a charity shop video while we were away, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which I haven't posted yet. But yeah, I just decided that was a challenge I started and it didn't benefit me, so I stopped it. Yeah, so if you want to do a challenge,
500 was ridiculous.
It was, yeah. But I didn't want it to be a daily one. I wanted it to be more than daily.
No, I get that. But what you should have done, in my opinion, was be like, I'm going to post 60 TikToks in a month instead. Like, have a shorter amount of time. But this is exactly the same thing as what happened to me with my rejection challenge, which is why it's going to go on forever, because I set myself 100 rejections in 6 months, and actually that wasn't achievable, in the sense that
No
people
one's
kept saying,
rejecting you.
no, they were. I think it was like 50-50, but like I wasn't getting them fast enough, and I had to then fulfill the things that I'd been accepted for.
Yeah.
So actually, it needed to be like a more ongoing thing. So I'm gonna like keep working. I mean, I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like it's become a habit now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The mindset shift has happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna keep documenting them and keeping it as part of the challenge.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite thing about challenges is it just makes things more fun.
Yeah.
Like I love gamifying things.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have, like I realized the other day that one of my like values, I don't think I've ever actually written this down as my brand values, but one of my brand values is definitely fun. Like I want to enjoy my business.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want to make money, but I also want to like have fun while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And that is like a really important part to me. And I think that comes across in like how I show up and how I present my business, like not take it too seriously.
Yeah.
And so I think the challenges really fits into that. And also one of my like values, or one of the things that I love in my business, is experimenting. And so I feel like this just gives me a perfect opportunity to like try things out, it not be too like pressured, because it's like, you know, it's usually got like a timeline and it's like a see what happens. And you know what, I keep thinking while we're in the midst of this reel challenge, like I probably will do a few static posts, but I've literally just been posting reels so far. And like, I could totally see myself getting into a habit of posting. Like before, I think I used to do one every now and then. If like I had to think really hard to do
a
it.
reel or
yeah,
stuff?
a reel.
Oh, really?
Like
Yeah.
I think I would only do like I'd maybe do like one a week.
Yeah.
Mainly just because I was promoting this podcast, and that's always like as a reel. But it wasn't like my natural default content.
No.
Whereas now I think it will be way more my natural default content, because I found ways. That's it, isn't it? I've just got better at making videos.
Yeah, and you're doing videos that work for you because you're good at talking like this. So if you can do a voiceover, or if you can do like a reel with a tiny microphone.
I love the tiny microphone.
Same, I love it now. Then that makes it so much easier, I think. And I think that experimenting mindset is really good, like for all areas of your business as well.
Definitely.
So like someone I was working with recently has just done their first launch. And I was like, this is just an experiment launch. You know, learn from it, see what went well.
Takes the pressure off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then it's like less about what the results actually are, and it's more about what you can learn from the results.
Yes.
And I think that is like so key. It's like holding the things that we do in our business lightly, so that they don't become this like really big defining thing. You know, like it doesn't become this big, this launch failed. It actually becomes this, this launch didn't go how I expected.
Yeah.
What can I learn from that and implement in my next launch?
Why?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why? It's always about asking why, isn't it?
It is.
That's such a good point.
I think we should do a challenge next year. At the start of
this year.
This year, yes.
At
In
the start of
2024.
this year.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like, I feel like since doing the reel challenge, I am like buzzing to do more of them.
Yeah.
And I think we should do some together, because it is really fun. So by the time this goes out, we'll have come up with a challenge that we can share with everyone and people can join us on.
Yeah, and it'll be branded and it'll be
nice.
We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Join on whatever challenge we come up with.
Yeah,
it'll be in the show notes. And also, just on that point, like I do think it is a really fun way to build community, because you decided you wanted to do a challenge.
Yeah.
You put it in the best 90 days and were like, join me in this challenge. And obviously you've already got a community, but loads of people have joined in who aren't in the best 90 days, which I love. Like they just saw us talking about it and were like, that's a great idea. I want to do it too.
People are still messaging me now and being like, can I join your challenge? And I'm like, well, yeah, but
we're
you just
through.
do. Well, no, but it's just just 30
do whatever
days.
you want.
Yeah, it's your challenge. It's just
so this is like this is your, I guess, like permission to just set yourself a challenge whenever you fancy it. And tell people about it. It is really fun when you like talk about it, I think, because people enjoy it. Like I love watching people do challenges, and I love hearing about what came out of it and what they learned, because we can all learn from each other.
I'm really surprised so many people wanted to do it now. At this time, like November. Because I picked this because like the rest of the year has been busy, and this felt like a quieter month. So I'm really surprised how many other people want to take part in it now as well. But yeah, it just goes to show you that if a challenge is fun, people will want to do it. Whatever time of year it is.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I've done this to you before. Last question. Let's we can do it together. Let's just quickly come up with some, if people, because I know like you are very good at coming up with ideas and not everybody is. So if people are like, I need some ideas for a challenge, let's spitfire loads of ideas for 30-day challenges. So like one of mine would be posting on LinkedIn every day. I think you could take a platform and just commit to posting on it every day. So like whether that's Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram.
One that I really liked in the best 90 days ever, which I hope someone would do but no one has done, was an idea for an email every day.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So then you would have a bank of 30 ideas.
Nice.
And even if you wanted to just like set a timer and write for 10 minutes about that topic.
So that you came out with it almost with like 30 drafts
like
of
30
emails.
little snippets of emails ready to go. And you could use each of those as a reel, as a post, like anything. So I think that's a really nice one, really just to like get the content ideas going.
Yeah. I could do the same for the podcast, like come up with 30 podcast ideas and maybe spend 10 minutes a day writing like a script or scripts or notes for them.
Daily videos.
Yeah. YouTube. I'd love to do a YouTube one. I know we're both in Wandering Aimfully, and last year they did I think it was 30 days, or like they did a month long.
It was just under,
it was like 26.
It was the alphabet, wasn't it?
Oh, okay, yeah. So they did like a YouTube video a day, but they did loads of. I think one of the things that I would say, last tip, is you can start prepping for it way before the challenge starts. So I started making reels before we got to November because I knew that I wouldn't be able to keep it up otherwise.
Their podcast episode, there's 2 actually, isn't there, about 30-day challenges, and I would really recommend listening to those because that was
Caroline and Jason Zook, and it's Wandering Aimfully. I'll link those episodes in the show notes.
Podcast is called What Is It All For?
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, that's definitely what inspired me to do the challenge now. Yeah, because they were talking about it, and I thought, oh, let's just do it.
Other ones, I think you made a point about how some people did some non-work ones, which I actually think is really nice. So. One of our friends, Ocean, is doing like 30 days of collage. So actually, like if you struggle to do something for you, like it could be like reading every day. Like I would love to do that, you know, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of reading every day, or journaling is another great one. Maybe like doing a photo walk every day, or we talked about collecting B-roll. You know, it's just all sorts of different things.
I'd like to go on my treadmill every day
because
I feel like
fitness one.
I don't go on it. The walking treadmill, not running. But I feel like it's not quite a habit yet.
Okay.
I do use it a lot, but not enough that it's a habit, I would say. So
Thank you so much. I love that. I would definitely encourage everyone to come up with a challenge. Do a challenge this year. Give it a go. Nice. It's really fun. And message us and let us know what your challenge is so that we can cheer you on, because it's always nicer to have people cheering you on. And I will link all of the things that we talked about in the show notes. Thanks, Hannah.
Can't wait to see what our challenge is.
In the show notes. That's what you're going to find out. Thanks. And we'll be back next week with another episode of the 2 of us for our little mini series. And speak to you soon.
Nice.
If you enjoyed this episode, come back next week for another episode with Hannah. But also, you can check out the Building Your Brand podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And there are over 100 episodes for you to choose from with some amazing guests. So go check it out, subscribe, and if you would leave me a review, I would be so grateful.